Hello everyone, this is Necrostevo and you're watching my 20-second narrated Wi-Fi battle. 20-second, that's how old I am. That's especially appropriate. I know I haven't brought you all a battle in a little bit, but like I said, my Wi-Fi is not very good right now, but next week things should be back up to speed. Here I have a rotation battle again. I'm starting to get to like these a lot, to be honest. But it's against my friend Michael. We had a pretty interesting battle. Over prediction was kind of the bane of my existence this match. We start out fighting Pokemon versus fighting Pokemon, Machamp versus Mean Shao. So Whips versus Four Arms there. He went straight for the fake out, which I predicted, but Machamp has a great HP stat, so I was able to take those pretty well. I'm not sure what he was going to do. I went for the dynamic punch, hoping to hit anything on his side, and here he goes for the high jump kick. I actually was expecting him to rotate or something. I didn't expect him to go right for that because I knew that he knew my Darmanitan had Protect and I could just rotate into that. So he made a good play there and went for it. Fortunately, it doesn't take me out and I'm able to knock out his mean shot right there. Off to a quick 5-0, he brings out Rogue the Weavile. And I know I can't say him for that, but I wasn't sure what he was going to do. I was expecting maybe another fake out, to be honest. So I went to Darmanitan and used the Protect right there. He just goes for the Brick Break, which means I actually could have rotated, taken the Brick Break, and then killed him with the Flare Blitz. Here, he does it in kind, though, because he rotates and switches to Jolteon and tries to take me out with a Thunderbolt. You saw before in a previous battle where a Thunderbolt from a Jolteon, not his Jolteon, but just one in general, killed Darmanitan. So maybe he's running timid instead of modest or something like that. I do know that Michael is quite fond of things that are fast and can kill everything as quickly as possible. So here we have a double down, and to be honest, those are the best types of downs. So that's nice there. I'm able to eliminate something really fast on his side of the field in exchange for my Darmanitan. He brings out Garchomp. I bring out my Snorlax, which probably could take a hit from Garchomp. I don't really want it to. I rotated to my Machamp in order to get a Bullet Punch off on that Garchomp, hoping that he would switch into Weavile and try to do something and take the times to affect a Bullet Punch, but he just goes into Bronzong and uses Sandstorm to get that Sandveil ability for his Garchomp. That's very unfortunate. I tend to have bad luck with those types of things, and I would have been much better off going for the Dynamic Punch there. But I didn't expect him to rotate to Bronzong. Here he just goes for the clean, easy kill and KOs my Machamp with the Earthquake there. I didn't really have anything I wanted to take that, but now that that gets knocked out, I'm able to bring in my Fortress quite easily. I think I'm going to change the set on this Fortress because I need something that would be a little bit more usable in other types of battles rather than having it with Earthquake. But right here, you see how well I take that Earthquake, and the red card swaps him out. I actually forgot that it was holding that. This was a singles team that I just kind of used for rotation. And then unfortunately a red cards him out into a Whimsicott who pretty much laughs at that Earthquake. That's unfortunate, but, you know, I did get the Garchomp out of the way and give that Sandveil a little bit of time to go away. Now here, he actually didn't expect my Nidoking, which has the Sheer Force ability, to be Scarf. Most Nidokings with the Sheer Force ability run Life Orb, which means that Whimsicott will easily outrun them most of the time. But that Cotton Guard does not matter against the Flamethrower, so I'm able to easily take him out there. Since I am Scarfed, I am locked in Flamethrower unless I withdraw Nidoking completely and send him back out. This puts me in a bit of a conundrum because two of his Pokemon are weak against the Flamethrower and one of them is weak against the Ice Beam while the other two will resist it. So I bring back out Uxie here expecting that Earthquake, which is nice. I get it in for free. And this is actually my more defensive Uxie. I finally stall out that Sandstorm and I just went for the Yawn, hoping to put either the Garchomp or the Weavile to sleep. I was hoping he'd switch into Weavile and try to hit me with a Dark Attack right there. But he goes back to Paladin the Bronzong to set back up that Sandstorm. He really wants it up in order to give his Garchomp a kind of a buffer there to make it hard to hit. And the Yawn will be nice. It'll put the Bronzong to sleep. That means that after I do stall out the Sandstorm again, he'll fall asleep if he tries to set it back up because he only has one turn before he falls asleep as long as he doesn't withdraw. So here he goes for the Crunch, which I actually haven't seen that on Garchomp before. I was expecting the Weavile, like I said. I was a little bit worried about that Weavile this entire match when I was really just completely over-predicting. Here, I switch into Bear the Snorlax, hoping that I could take a hit pretty well and go for a Curse. And I max HP split special defense and attack, I take that Earthquake very well. Half HP. This Snorlax is the good old school type of Resto Chesto set. So that Sandstorm does whittle me down a little bit, but not too much that I'm really worried. Now here you can see my Uxie's great defensive bulk as he goes for the dual chop. Garchomp has a very high attack stat, but that does not do very much to Uxie at all, which kind of leads me to believe that his Garchomp is more bulky. And I went for the Thunder Wave again, expecting that Weavile, but he just stayed in, so I overpredicted there and wasted a turn. And I couldn't really go for the Yawn because then I would be breaking Sleep Claws. Here he goes for the Crunch, and again, Uxie's great bulk, even though that's super effective, I don't really take much for it. And here I don't overpredict, and I just go right for the Psychic to get a little bit of damage in on that Garchomp. Fortunately, I did not miss, even though the Sandstorm is just now subsiding. And he switches back into Bronzong. I believe I predicted that this time, and I went for the Fire Punch, expecting that, but he uses a Protect, and I didn't know he had Protect up until that point, so that was a very good move on his part. He was able to scout out my move, but at the same time, he does fall asleep because of that earlier Yawn. But he wasn't too worried about that because he had the Lumberry. So now that does mean I can put something back to sleep, and I can use Yawn to force him to fall asleep for 1 to 3 turns instead of just the 2 turns of rest. Unfortunately, that does let him get back up the stupid Sandstorm. And I think on this turn, I again predict the Uxie to switch. I again predict the Weavile to switch in. Which is unfortunate because I believe he goes into Garchomp, which means I may waste another... No, okay, I switch into Forretress, and he just goes for the Earthquake. But that was another overprediction on my part, because he just stays in and goes for rest in order to ensure that he wakes up in 2 turns instead of possible staying asleep for 3 turns because of the new sleep mechanics. So, yay for overpredictions. I am doing that way too much this match. Sometimes the best way is just to play it straight. But here, he does go for the Stone Edge. The Snorlax does have the +1. I figured, hey, he went for West. Why not I go for Rest? And that's perfect because after that Curse, I'm able to take that Stone Edge quite well, rest and get all the way back up to full HP, and get my Chesto Berry to wake me back up. Now this Snorlax has just become a pretty big threat to his team because his Weavile doesn't carry the low kick, it carries the Brick Break. So without that low kick, since I have the +1 defense, it's not going to be one-hit KO and Snorlax is heavy behind. The Stone Edge here, I was actually really surprised that I lived this, and I'm able to finally put the Yawn on the Garchomp, and that's kind of what I wanted all along, Garchomp or Weavile. And that's awesome, because now that he'll be falling asleep at some point, that just means I'm able to work around his sweeper a little bit more. So I barely survived the Sandstorm hit. I rotate back out into Forretress in order to tank whatever hit he wants to throw at me there. And I just go for the Earthquake to get a little bit more residual damage on it. Since I figured that this one was more bulky, I wanted to lower its HP as much as possible before trying to one-hit KO it. Fortunately, he's asleep, so that means I can play around it a little bit easier. And I think I'd go for the Earthquake again. Yes, I do, as that sleeping Bronzong switches in, which means he has 1 more turn to sleep, so I have 1 turn to do whatever I want. And here I believe I just go into Uxie, and I use the Thunder Wave, hoping that the stupid Weavile would come in yet again, and I wasted another turn. That one was a little bit less of a waste because he was still asleep. But still, I wanted that Uxie paralyzed, and I wanted it bad. Not bad enough, apparently. But this is what I should have done the first time. I should have just gone in the Snorlax and used the Fire Punch, and I do it this time. Bronzong has excellent defensive stats and can even run Heat Proof. This one actually runs the Earthquake, the Levitate to dodge the Earthquake, obviously. But even at a +1 Fire Punch, that doesn't kill him. But it is a clean 2-hit KO, so I just need to hit him with it 1 more time. Here he brings in the Weavile. I did expect that finally, and I just went into my Uxie as Death Fodder, so that I could bring back in my Nidoking. Since his Garchomp was asleep, it was not a threat, and I could bring in Nidoking and go for Flamethrowers again off that Scarf and outspeed both his Weavile and his Bronzong, which was really, really nice. So Nemesis is able to come in here. After this is when he finally realizes that I'm Scarfed because I outspeed that Weavile, which there's no way a Nidoking would outspeed a Weavile. So that is nice, and I'm also able to hit that Bronzong, which is great. Of course, that's resisted by the Garchomp, and I can't switch out because I don't have any more Pokemon remaining on my side in standby. But I'm okay with having Scarf, Sheer Force boosted flamethrowers running around. That's if you're going to be locked into a move, that's a good one to be locked into unless they have Flash Fire. So his last Pokemon is the Garchomp. I'm just going to rotate back into my Snorlax in order to body slam him a few times. The only way he was going to get around this is to get a critical hit, dual chop or something like that. Funny story, he does dodge the body slam while he's asleep, which is weird because of the Sandville. Snorlax just must not have been paying attention or something. Maybe distracted by some food. He goes for the Earthquake, does not get the crit, and I go for the body slam to finish him off. So Michael, that was a great battle. We're going to have more rotation battles. Maybe we should build teams that actually function for rotation. But be sure to like if you enjoyed the battle. Be sure to subscribe and follow me on Twitter and Facebook. And you guys have a great day. Goodbye now.